the Epic Game Store, better known as that place with that one crazy statistic of increasing their users by 300 million and increasing their revenue by 5. Literally by 5%. The Epic Game Store has taught a whole generation and a half to just log into a thing, get their free stuff, and go back to Steam. It is a remarkably hilarious achievement. And you know that the people at Epic are pretty mad about this, considering they want to take Steam out.
Epic Game Store. It launched back in December of 2018, so it's been 7 years since that storefront's release. And its purpose was to be a competitor to Steam, which is kind of the dominating launcher and storefront for PC gaming. And Epic Game Store offered better deals for
Gabe, take my money. You deserve that yacht.
developers who get to keep a bigger cut of the revenue share. And Epic Game Store also offers like free games every week. And despite all of this, Epic Game Store is woefully behind Steam. And if we look at recent data, the way Epic Game Store is trending is not particularly confidence-inspiring, as what we're seeing is a storefront that has stagnated when it comes to people actually making purchases on Epic Game Store, while Steam continues to thrive and continues to...
Yes, again, this is not a joke. Unironically, Epic Game Store has taught hundreds of millions of users to just log on their slop for free, get the thing for free, and then go install it on Steam.
Achieve new records. And what it ultimately came down to is that while Epic Game Store does offer better revenue share for developers and offers free games every week, the storefront itself, the launcher, and the feature set that it offers are just really not up to par. That's the reason why Epic Game Store's launch didn't go down well, and why even after 7 years, Epic Game Store is woefully behind Steam. Not to mention that Epic Game Store over the years pissed off a lot of people by essentially buying out exclusivity for third-party games, a strategy that ultimately ended up doing
a strategy that ultimately didn't make them any money also, which is hilarious.
More harm to them than good. And even in recent months and years, it feels like Steam just doesn't really have to do anything, because Epic Game Store, Tim Sweeney in particular, CEO of Epic, keeps shooting Epic Game Store in the foot. For example, one of the things that garnered a lot of backlash and lost a lot of goodwill surrounding Epic Game Store is the fact that Epic boss Tim Sweeney thought that stores like Steam should stop labeling games as being made with AI. And I mean, this is just something that garnered a lot of backlash, because people actually appreciate the fact that Steam is enforcing consumers and customers being informed and having disclosures that allow them to make informed decisions. The fact that Tim Sweeney is against that just made people perceive Steam as just standing there doing nothing and just doing their thing, and competitors blasting themselves in the face with a shotgun. The goodwill surrounding Epic Game Store is so negative.
It's pretty accurate.
That people are expressing online that they would rather buy games that are free on Epic Game Store on Steam on sale than to play them for free through the Epic Game Store. This GIF, this meme, for example, made the rounds. Free games on Epic Games. And it's the Punisher just going through it. And then same game, but 70% on Steam. And it's just John Bernthal living his best life. So that's something that...
I mean, it makes sense. These platforms are so stupid, because you need to understand the grand difference between Steam and everything else. I mean, we're talking about a thing that literally McDonald's, of all things, and wholly understood, and all of the fast food restaurant chains somehow understood. And I'm not kidding, by the way. It's the fact that nowadays there is competition for everything. And nowadays, it doesn't matter if you have $1 trillion market cap. If another... Camera, please, I'm a human, not an alien. Thank you. Xenophobia. Anyway, the bad one. Anyway, people have alternatives to everything nowadays. And the thing that's gonna keep people entertained, interested, or using your thing is if you actually give them a product that's good. Even McDonald's understood this. Fast food restaurants, I mean, they're still slop, don't get me wrong, but they were previously just some of them were completely just grease bags and the most disgusting thing ever. They had to step up their game so much drastically, honestly, over the years because alternatives started cropping up that were as cheap or slightly more expensive, but the quality was miles ahead. And people just choose the quality nowadays because why would you ever choose something that's bad quality in a world where quality is all around you and there's tons of ways to just find it fast? And that's what people seem to not. That's what all these companies like Amazon, Apple don't understand with Steam. They think that they can just put in money and magically people are just gonna forget about Steam. Oh, we're gonna offer like 5 things for free on Epic Store. Yeah, that's gonna destroy Steam. And in the meantime, you know, you launch the Epic storefront and it downloads 5 viruses. No, I'm choosing Steam. Okay.
That's become a widely popular sentiment across the PC gaming landscape. But what all this revealed is that meme is actually no exaggeration because there's tangible data showing that realistically, this is actually what is going on, as revealed here by none other than Dave Oshry, also known as the New Blood guy. He's the CEO of New Blood. And what he revealed is that Epic Game Store is actually boosting Steam sales by hosting their free games on that platform. It's actually pretty wild. And if true over the long term,
it actually does make logical sense because think about it. You know that on Epic Games currently this thing is for free. And you kind of want to play it, but you don't want to use Epic's shitty fucking store and whatnot, right? So, if it's on discount on Steam, you buy it on Steam because Steam's a better platform than Epic Games. So, Epic Games is unironically, it just makes so much logical sense that the fact that you get enticed on Epic's store to buy it, but you don't want to buy it because Epic is horrible, you go to Steam to buy it instead. That is so funny.
Epic Game Store is in a lot of trouble with little chance to catch up. Now, while we're on the topic of being in trouble, there's nothing quite like the fear that strikes when you lose your wallet or you know that your wallet was stolen.
Oh boy, I love when anti-capitalism communist supporter Yong Yad talks about purely capitalistic things like wallets.
And comment section below. All right, so let's get back to the topic at hand. The way Epic Game Store is not only woefully behind Steam.
Also, actually, we should have watched this because remember Ridge Wallet, the one that Yong shilled before? I wonder if he, in this ad, he also said, "Oh, I have been using this wallet for years now." I gotta love how fake all these ads are. It's beautiful.
Also boosting Steam in a lot of ways when they try to, use methodologies that they hope will garner audiences for their game store. So Dave Oshry tweeted the following about something he discovered when he engaged with Epic Game Store and Steam as a developer. Quote, Blood West was free on Epic Game Store over the holidays and sold like 200% more on Steam that day. Dave continued by expressing how surprised he was because he used to think that Epic Game Store was a marketing black hole. But as it turns out, having your game be free on Epic is great advertising for Steam sales. And you can see right here in sales charts highlighting how the second that the game became free on Epic Game Store that week, we saw a huge spike in sales for that title. Dave continues here, New Blood doesn't get any royalties from Epic Game Store. We let Hyperstrange take 100% of that, Hyperstrange being one of the developers that they partnered with. So they got the money back for the free giveaway, are putting that money into developing the new DLC, and we got more Steam sales too. So, yeah, that's a W across the board, except for Epic Game Store. Like, it's bad for a competitor when they try to pull a move that is meant to be beneficial to them, but it ends up being actually beneficial to the competition. They've also made it a point to highlight that.
Yeah, almost like how Yongya exposed the whole of the voice actor industry as a bunch of losers.
Yeah, Epic Games Store kind of dug their own grave, and somebody replied with, not trying to hate on Epic, but their launcher is absolutely awful. If it didn't take years to update a game like Fortnite, even with a good internet, I would consider giving it another chance. And that's just one of many issues on top of all of the missing features that Epic Games Store has yet to catch up to. And so Dave responded just very honestly with every...
You know what's actually strange about... Well, it's not strange, it's just wild about the Epic Games Store. Because they have the money. They have the money to just rip off Steam and then go into a 20-year-long legal battle with Steam about ripping them off if they wanted to. But they haven't added anything that users actually want in like years. People have been begging for basic features in the Epic Games Store for years, and they just don't. Their updates for actually making the user experience even slightly better is horrendous. I think the last time I heard about the Epic Games Store actually getting an update for the users was somehow actually making it better because it was like, aha, this is what a lot of game developers want actually situation.
Everything bad about Epic Games Store is their own fault. Dave also addressed the way Tim Sweeney is constantly like dogging on Steam for that 30% revenue cut. In response to somebody saying, this is why I laugh when people argue over the Steam 30% cut for developers. 70% of a sale is better than no sale. And Dave agreed, saying, I did an interview today and I said Epic could give developers 100% of sales and it doesn't matter shit if there's no sales, LOL. What's 100% of $0? $0. And that's really the core issue with Epic Games Store. No matter how good the deals are, if the storefront itself, if the launcher, if the software isn't up to par with the competition to the point where it will pull people away from Steam into Epic Games Store, no amount of deals will ultimately change the fact that people are not engaging with Epic Games Store, not spending money on Epic Games Store, not buying games on Epic Games Store. Like, don't get me wrong, if people want to argue about the 30% cut, like, that's within your prerogative. But what Steam ultimately excels at is having a great environment for customers that brings people to that storefront, that allows developers to sell their games, even if they have to give away 30% of the revenue to Steam. It's still a very viable business due to the huge audience that Steam hosts. I think Epic Games Store just relied on the better revenue cut and the weekly free games as things that could by themselves carry Epic Games Store without considering the fact that the storefront itself and the launcher itself has to be exceptional to pull people away from Steam. Again, people like Steam so much more than Epic Games Store that they would rather buy games on Steam than get them for free on Epic. And the disparity between Epic...
Yeah, again, like, if that's not a completely insanely wild statistic that you have seen, I don't know honestly what is. And it is hilarious how Tim Sweeney, or whatever his name is, it just continues to crash out. How many times has he already crashed out about Steam being better? How many times has he humiliated himself in wanting the Steam become a objectively worse storefront for user experience, and he thinks that that's a good idea? Like, you can't make this up. The guy literally is advocating for anti-user experiences, and he thinks it's a good thing. That is crazy. And the best part is, he doesn't think that it's a good thing because it's going to make them more money or whatever. He just, in general, thinks worse user experiences are better. For some reason. Like the AI thing. People don't want AI slop game. YouTube is currently cracking down and has even deleted like a bunch of AI channels that have garnished in combination like literally tens of trillions of watch hours. That no one likes AI slop, and here Tim Sweeney is like, the future is AI, so don't be caught on it, okay? Remove the AI tag. Like, you can't make this up. Like, how delusional do you have to be? Like, how do you think that the correct decision is always the wrong decision? It is like a Todd Howard tier of talent, honestly. Anyway, that was Younger Yayer, 10 out of 10. Bye.